Good morning, class. From few classes, we are discussing the chapter of diversity of class 9th, and this is the last class of this chapter because all the phylums are almost completed. Only two phylums are left for the chapter of diversity. Or we discussing the few classes of the diversity of animal and the kingdom is animal kingdom. We are discussing from the few classes animals kingdom. Okay, and almost all phylums are completed. Only two phylums are left. That one is the echinodermata, and the second one is the chordata. Okay, all phylums I had completed, and you must go through their all phylums and revise time to time, because this is the very tough topic to remember all the categories and characteristics at that one time. So go through and revision time to time. Come to the next phylum, and this one is the 8th phylum of animal kingdom called the echinodermata. Echinodermata. From its name, it is clear that means spines are present all over the body. Spines are present all over the body. Okay, then its example is the starfish, and starfish is the disc-like structure, and its all body is covered with the spine-like structure. All body is covered with the spine-like structure, and the hard skeleton is present just beneath the outer skin. So it has two types of skeleton. We know that the exoskeleton or endoskeleton. And endoskeleton is present inner part of the body, but exoskeleton is present in two forms. One is the outside of the body, and second one is the just live inside the skin of the body. And in starfish, skeleton is present just beneath the skin, Okay, so this is the characteristic of echinodermata. And first characteristic is that spiny skinned animal, means spine is present all over the body. Spine skinned animal. Hard skeleton made of calcium carbonate, just beneath the outer layer. Next is, from its structure, it is clear that it is not a bilateral symmetry. It is possible is the radial symmetry, and in this structure, radial symmetry is possible. And almost last phylum development is completed, so it is also a coelomate, because coelomate development starts from the previous phylums. And it is a triploblastic, and you go through the previous classes and revise the topic of the all body parts, and what is the coelomate, what is triploblastic, what is bilateral symmetry, radial symmetry. Last class I already completed these topics, and those are the most important topics of this animal kingdom, because that is the basic to read of the all divisions or characteristic of the phylum. And this is the echinodermata, 8th phylum. Spine-like bodies, heart covered, made of calcium carbonate just beneath the skin, radial symmetry, coelomate and triploblastic. And the last phylum of this kingdom is the chordata. Last phylum of the is the Chordata. Ninth phylum, Chordata. Chordata means notochord. Chord means backbone like structure, backbone present. So have notochord. Have notochord. It is also called dorsal supporting rod. Dorsal supporting rod. Front side of body, if suppose that this is the body and this is the front side, this is the back side. The front side body is called the ventral and the back side is the dorsal, and it is the notochord present in the dorsal supporting rod, means backbone already developed in this phylum. This chordata is divided into two parts. This chordata is divided into two parts, protochordata and vertebrata. Protochordata and vertebrata. Chordata is divided into two parts, protochordata and vertebrata. Protochordata examples include Melanoglossus, Melanoglossus. Its structure is like that. This spine, this notochord, differentiate it from the other phylum because this notochord is present only in the chordata phylum and notochord absent from the previous phylums. So this is the advanced characteristic feature of the next phylum is the chordata, and this one is the notochord. Notochord. So in the protochordata we say that notochord present at least at some stage of their life, at least at some stage of their life. Here is the at least some stage, means after the maturation this notochord is replaced by their gills, lungs, other parts which are used for their survival purpose according to their environment. So this notochord is present at the some stage, maybe child stage of spring stage or early stage of the development. Some stage means early stage of the development. After the maturation, this notochord is changed into gills, lungs, या book lungs, scales वगैरह, all are changed according to their environment in which animals are survived. And it is a triploblastic. Triploblastic means ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm are present. So it is called triploblastic. Coelomate. Coelomate means true body symmetry is present. True body cavity is present, so it is called coelomate. And it is bilateral symmetry. Bilateral symmetry means body is completely divided into two equal halves, so it is called the bilateral symmetry. And this is the characteristic of protochordata. This is the characteristic of protochordata, in which we take the examples of the Melanoglossus, which is a marine animal. Melanoglossus is the marine animal. Okay, and this is present in the seawater. Notochord is present at some stages. I already told you that after completing the maturation, it changed according to their environment they survive. Triploblastic, coelomate and bilateral symmetry. And come to the next type of chordata is the vertebrata. Vertebrata includes those type of animals which we see around our environment, and we see that all are not same, all are different according to their environment. Some are present in marine, some are present in water called aquatic, some are present in air called birds, and some are present in water and land, both places that we called amphibia. So all we discussed in the type of chordata called vertebrata. So come to the characteristic of examples of vertebrata. We take that pieces, examples of vertebrata: pieces, also called fish, amphibia, reptilia, apes means bird, apes includes birds, and last one is the mammalia. Okay, and these all are distinguished by their body features or environment in which they survive. First is the respiratory organs. In fishes, respiratory organ is the gills. Fish is the aquatic animals, and for their respiration it requires the presence of the gills to take oxygen from the water and replace CO2 to the water. And amphibia from its name we know that it is present both in land as well as water. When it present in water, it use the gills, and when it present in land, it use their lungs. So it includes both part. Reptilia is, we know that it is land animal, so it use lungs. Apes also use lungs, and mammalia is always know that it is use lungs for their respiration. And second is the presence of number of heart chamber. In pieces, number of chamber is 2, means heart chamber is divided only in the auricle and ventricle. Upper part of the heart chamber is called auricle, and lower part is heart chamber is the ventricle. Amphibia is 3 chambered heart, means if this is heart, amphibia is 3 chambered heart, means it is divided, auricle is divided into 2 parts, but ventricle is not divided into 2 parts. In pieces it is divided into 2 parts, auricle and ventricle, and in amphibia the number of heart chamber is divided into 3 parts, 2 auricle and 1 ventricle, so it is 3 chambered. Reptilia also includes 3 chambered heart, means mostly are 3 chambered heart, but exception is the crocodile, which has the 4 chambered heart, means 2 auricle and 2 ventricle, left auricle, left ventricle, right auricle, right ventricle. So these are the 4 chambered heart, and apes are 4 chambered heart, mammalia also have 4 chambered heart. Okay, next is the warm blooded and cold blooded. Warm blooded or cold blooded means presence of blood is the warm blooded or cold blooded, means this say that body temperature is changed according to their environment or not. This decide the animals will survive in all weather or not. And Pisces it has the cold-blooded, Amphibia has the cold-blooded, Reptilia has the cold-blooded, apes are the warm-blooded, and Mammalia also have the warm-blooded. Next is the exoskeleton. Next is the exoskeleton. Means bone type, which type of bone present in the animals. Exoskeleton pieces contain scales. Whole body is covered with the spine, so it is called the scales. And amphibia, scales absent. Reptilia, scales are present. And apes, we know that it is a flying animal, so in the place of scales it contain feathers. And Mammalia contain hair or fur. Okay, and next is the oviparous or viviparous. Oviparous means egg-laying animals and viviparous means child-laying animals. Means oviparous, the development of child outside of the mammals, and viviparous is the development of animals inside the body of the female. So Pisces is oviparous animals. Fish produce eggs for the development of the offspring, and amphibia is also oviparous. Reptilia is also oviparous. Apes are also oviparous, but mammals are viviparous. Mammals are viviparous because it produces young ones. One exception of the mammalia is Platypus echidna. It is a oviparous mammals because it produces eggs for the development of the offspring outside the body. This one is the exception. Otherwise, all mammals are viviparous in nature. Pisces means fish. Body is the stream-like body. Streamline body, and fins are present for the movement in forward or backward direction of the fishes. And apes, how can you say that apes are flying all over the sky without falling from their place due to presence of streamline wings and hollow bone. This hollow bone support the birds to fly all over the sky or most outsider and up to down position in the air. This hollow bone support for the flying of the birds. And mammals, oil secreting gland mammals oil secreting gland present that we called sweat gland. And these all are the characteristics of the vertebrata of the phylum Chordata. So here the chapter of the diversity of animals is completed. Next class we discuss the next chapter of the bio of class 9th. Thank you.